Hello everyone, and welcome to Star Trek Osiris, a Starbase centric game using the rules by Modifius Entertainment. My name is ELH the Game Master, and joining me are three lovely individuals who will meet right away. Starting with Professor Hex. Hex, who you playing and anything you want to shout out?
Hello, I am Professor X. I am playing Commander Vakobe Ka, the Vinchari new head of Osiris Station. And I would like to shout out Emily Dickinson. Great lady, great poetry, perhaps a little too attached to the M dash, but we all have our faults.
Truly the first clanker, clearly.
Yes,
R is crazy.
given given patterns currently at work today, she might have been artificial intelligence in a wee body.
Oh, Lord. For legal reasons, that was a
Specifically a wee
joke.
one.
I just want to be very clear that's a joke. Don't sue me to YouTube, please.
Yeah, pointing
Anyway,
that message at the
MJX.
Emily Dickinson estate.
Yeah, the Emily Dickens estate just comes right after me. It's great. MGX, what
That's
do you
so
got going
awesome.
on?
Hey folks, I'm MGX. I am playing Lieutenant Junior Grade Talix, the science officer aboard the Osiris. And as always, just want to shout out all of my friends who are watching and joining us today.
Very nice. And last but not least, Mr. Umbral.
Howdy, folks. Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be playing Ensign Kiata Evans, our local Green Hornet operations officer. And if there's anything I had to shout out today, it's that I'm in a very good mood because I finally got employed as of yesterday.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, well, let's run that intro video and then we'll get started proper. And welcome back. So, as is tradition for all my Star Trek Adventures games, as I have the players do an opening log, and I believe Ensign Evans has that honor today, so please take it away.
All right, thank you very much. Let me get into character quick. Ensign Kiata Evans, personal log, stardate 70318.9. It's not been long since I finally began my duties on Starbase Osiris, and I've already had a close brush with the unknown. Spaceborne entities were not what I expected for a first day acting in an official capacity at my post, but it's given me something to write home about. I've already sent a subspace message back to my folks on Earth about the ordeal, but I'm not sure they were very thrilled to hear that I've been assigned to a... what did they say? A backwater death trap. Regardless of what they think, I personally like it here. And it helps that Tolan is here with me too. And the commander, Vakobe Ka, is a surprisingly gentle man. Voiced like a radio star and a head cooler than an Andorian iceberg. And our science officer ain't bad too, that Talix. If not eccentric, but hey, never met a Denobulan who didn't have their ways about him. As I prepare for today's duty shift, I can only wonder what the station has in store for me next, especially now that we have the Shuttle of Requirement under our care. End log.
All right. And you may have one momentum for that opening log. So,
Yeah.
where we're going to start today is we are going to start in Astrape's bar. Of course, if you need a reminder, Astrape is the bartender of the largest bar on Osiris Station. It's kind of the Quarks if you were to put Quarks on a Federation station. So, if you want a drink and you're an officer, or if you want a drink and you want it to not be, shall we say, watered down, you come to Astrape's bar. Now, all three of you are there. All three of you are just sitting down for your quote unquote daily stand up. And Astrape comes over and says, commanders, lieutenants, ensign, I'm glad that you've decided to come to my bar today rather than any other bar, because I've been hearing reports that every other replicator except mine is spitting out green food.
Yeah, the operations and engineering team have been working around the clock to figure out what the cause is, but so far, no dice.
Well, the good news is that whatever is going around isn't affecting my replicators, so if you want anything to eat, drink, please do let me know, and I'll ensure that it's not green.
Green eggs and ham. Yes, I am, Sam.
Frank?
Yes, thank you.
Strape, I don't see that that's actually a problem. I mean, after all, somewhere in this great universe we find ourselves in, it must be St. Patrick's Day somewhere.
And she kind of cocks her head to the side. St. Patrick's Day? I haven't heard of this.
Evans looks over to Commander Vakobe Ka, and Commander, I wasn't aware that you were familiar with Earth history.
It's a bit of a minor hobby of mine. There's something particularly interesting about the early days of the human species. They're very warlike and yet poetic at the same time. It's that dichotomy I find fascinating. Plus,
Yeah.
I can't be mad at the species that basically invented fencing.
Oh, that's fair enough, I suppose. To explain, it's a holiday celebrated on Earth. It's specifically in a region called Ireland, and it's only become more prevalent since the Irish reunification.
I see. And Astrape notes this down mentally, but you can tell that she's still processing the fact that green is somehow related to all this. And she actually looks over at Lieutenant Junior Grade Talix and goes, "Well, Mr. Talix, I guess I'm getting something green for these two, but what can I get you?" Uh-oh, are you inline muted? They are
Uh-oh.
Yeah, sorry, folks. Don't know what's happening on this side. My apologies. But Lieutenant Junior Grade Talix sort of considers, what he might want and goes, "Well, have we run any tests yet on the food that's coming out? I don't quite mind myself if it's a little bit of a different color. It doesn't really bother me at all."
All right, one Tarkalian rat, rainbow colored.
Wow, that is going to be a very unique cultural opportunity for me. I will give that a try.
And Astrape winks and departs, leaving you three to discuss matters before your food and drink are brought over.
So, yesterday was eventful. Huh?
Certainly one way of putting it.
Yeah. Well, when we all get a chance, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about out-of-work activities, but I've been saving up a holo program for one of the suites. In fact, you might find it of some interest, Commander.
I'm listening.
Okay. Picture this, okay? Ireland. Early 21st century Earth. Irish reunification of 2024. Final battle. Interested?
Now, this is traditional Ireland according to mainline Earth history, or is this an alternate scenario where Patrick didn't drive the snakes out?
No, this is traditional history. Just the final kind of little era before, Ireland kind of came back together in 2024.
I see. Is this simulation meant to take a look at strategy? Is it a cultural immersion thing? What's the objective?
Mostly a cultural immersion thing. I figured with all the green food going around, I thought, why not make something out of it?
Well, I hope my eyebrow is sufficiently raised to express my interest. Talix?
Piece of this action?
And what exactly would we be doing in this particular program?
Well, again, it would be the Irish unification, so we'd probably be somewhere. I'm not too familiar with Irish geography myself, but somewhere in the mainland. During the reunification, to my knowledge, there were pockets of kind of almost festive activities that were occurring around the same time that Ireland was kind of claiming its independence again. We would be kind of in one of those festivals, and we'd have the kind of backdrop of the reunification. I thought it would be very appropriate.
I think that I would be rather interested in that. Quite a unique opportunity to learn a little bit more about your culture and your history. How about we bring a couple of the gremlins along, because I know that they certainly know how to celebrate.
Well, I can't say I'm too familiar with the gremlins. I haven't really spoken to them individually, but sure, why not? I mean, kind of an open event anyway.
Well, let
Well,
me
that
stop
sounds like
you.
fun.
Let me stop you right there, gentlemen. These gremlins, if we do take them, they may be perceived by the natives as, I believe the term was leprechauns.
Oh, yeah, forgot. I mean, it shouldn't be an issue with the holodeck safeties. They shouldn't be able to register them, hopefully. I think. Evans looks down. Maybe I should double check the safeties.
I
Well,
think we've had enough experience across the Federation with holo technology. Always double, triple, quadruple check the safeties.
and as you say that, Astrape returns with your food and drink. For Talix, it is actually what looks to be a steak, like an actual nice kind of steak. It is rainbow colored, though, so congratulations, you have a rainbow steak. Evans, you have been given the quote unquote St. Patrick's Day special. It is a green cheeseburger with a green drink of unknown description. And then Vakobe Ka, if I remember, and my notes are correct, you prefer a certain type of scotch. Do I remember correctly?
That's right, single malt scotch, one rock.
Well, she puts it down in front of you all and says, well, if you need anything else, please do let me know. But, and she kind of leans in conspiratorially. Between you and me, your gremlin liaison, Zenlith, do you think you could get her to come in here just once?
Oh, can I ask why?
Well, I mean, just take a look around. You know, there's not a gremlin in here. And considering the gremlins make up a significant part of the station, I just thought that, a glowing endorsement from the liaison, might actually get some gremlins in here.
He looks over to the commander, realizing this is probably not his call.
I'm not certain that your goods are sufficiently caffeinated for them.
Sufficiently caffeinated. So you're saying that if I put more caffeine into the pattern replicators, they might be interested?
They're little caffeine fiends.
Let me be clear, Astrape. You would need to put enough caffeine into all of your beverages to detonate several horses.
And she pulls out a pad and says, detonate several horses. Are we talking Terran horses or a Vinshari horse?
You know what? Why don't you let me talk to them?
And I think Astrape just looks between Evans and Vakobe Khan, not really sure who to look at this point.
All right, Ensign, if you want to take on that particularly interesting responsibility, it's yours.
Aye, sir. He kind of holds up the green drink and kind of like sniffs it.
It smells and tastes like green.
Well, this is well, it's green.
Yes, I got it out of the St. Patrick's Day database, since you did mention you were an aficionado of it, so I thought, why not give you something special?
I wouldn't say aficionado, but thank you. He's gonna give it a little sip, give it a little taste.
Yeah, like I said, it tastes green.
It tastes green. I love it.
I mean,
in the same way that purple drink tastes purple.
Exactly, yeah. Purple tastes purple. And red is always some kind of strawberry or cherry for some reason,
Right,
Yes.
and blue is science.
Yes, and blue is science. So as you all are enjoying your meal and Astrape leaves you to it, you maybe get, 4 or 5 sips in, 4 or 5 bites in, not really enough to truly enjoy your drink and meal, when, Commander, you get a chirp on your communicator. It is Zenlith, ironically enough, and she says, Zenlith to Commander Vakobe Ka, are you there, sir?
This is Commander Vakobe Ka receiving.
Well, sir, I thought you might be interested to know that we have a ship coming in at Warp 1 directly for the station from out in the boonies. We've tried hailing. We've tried all manners of communications with the vessel, but It's unresponsive, and the interesting part, though, sir, is that if our sensors are correct and the transponder is not modified in any way, this is a Constitution class ship that went missing over, well, according to the database, 150 years ago.
Perks up. A Connie?
Is there any way to determine the designation of the vessel, or do we just have it on sensor range?
Oh, I have both for you, sir. The vessel's designation is one U.S.S. Mary Celeste.
Mary Celeste. Huh.
Something tells me that doesn't bode well.
Wait. Mary Celeste? Huh. Well, if you want to talk about Earth history, Commander, now there's a funny coincidence. I'll tell you about it later, though.
Right. Thank you for the report, Zenlith. We will make our way to command and see what we can do about this this fast approaching rust bucket of a Connie.
Commander,
Yes, Ensign?
can I bring my burger?
I tell you what, if you don't get juices, liquids, any amount of this green material on your control unit, I will consider adding a certain understanding of command personnel in the future that they can eat and drink freely.
Yes. Also, someone in chat just said, Osiris! Spaceship parts.
Yes, thank you.
Spaceship parts.
Thank you, Caspian. You are a credit to team. Thank you. All right. So we do a stereotypical Star Trek jump cut where we see you all coming up in a turbolift into main ops. And sure enough, you look up at the view screens and the Mary Celeste has actually stopped warp. It has dropped out within tractor beam range of the station, but it's just kind of sitting there ominously. It's not scanning you. It's not charging weapons. It's pretty much just quietly and forebodingly sitting there.
Is this a original Connie, or are we looking at like a refit?
This is an original Connie.
Whoa. Evans kind of whistles, then takes his station and begins running a scan.
Okay. What is it you're looking for, so I know what to tell you to roll?
He knows that it's probably pointless, but life signs.
Okay. Why don't you give me a reason and medical, and of course Talix, if you would want to take the lead, and then you assist each other, whichever way you want to do it. This would be a reason and medicine. The station will assist you with a sensors medicine. This is a difficulty of 1, and by my count, you're at 2 momentum thanks to chat and the opening log.
Okay. So
I'm happy to take lead if needed.
I would appreciate that, actually. This seems like you would succeed. You would excel.
Perfect.
So let's see here.
And I probably have a focus with biology.
You do.
Yeah. So complication range
Stays
is
at a 20.
20. And then let's do it.
Okay, so remember on an assist, we only take the first die, so Evans, we have to take that 16, which unfortunately isn't a success.
Okay.
Talix did get the 1 success, and then I just need to see sensors medicine from the station.
And that's 1 dice, right?
Yes, 1 die with a focus for the ship. Or station, I should say. Okay, so that is 2 successes overall, giving you a total of 3 momentum. So, when you two scan the vessel, what you see is that there are 0 life signs aboard, but you also see that the automated sort of return function of the vessel has been activated. And if this, recording or this notion, this log that you're able to pull up by just interfacing with the ship. Apparently, this ship has been adrift for, as Zenless said earlier, over a century without maintenance, without anyone tending the dock or anyone tending the engines, kind of a thing, which is
Odd.
very odd and very unheard of, especially for an old Connie.
I would like to now run a scan for just in general how the ship is holding up, structural integrity, onboard systems, engines. I want to see how in shape she is.
So you can give me a momentum and I can answer that question truthfully.
Okay, take it.
Okay. So what you're able to tell is that in terms of structural integrity, the ship's roughly around 60 to 70%, so still decent, but not exactly the best. The impulse engines, while a little bit on the red line side of things, impulse engines still work. As I said earlier, the warp core has somehow subsisted on its own for over a century, which shouldn't really be possible given how old Connie's dealt with their dilithium, so a little bit of a mystery there. As far as every other system, just kind of looks like it's in dire need of maintenance, but other than that, this is a ship out of time and a ship that should be in a very much worse state than it is currently.
Life support.
Life support is operational.
After running my scans, I look up from my station. I'm not reading any life signs, of course, but I am detecting multiple power signatures across the ship indicating that she is still very active and alive, Captain. Structural integrity field is at 70%, impulse engines are online, warp core operational, and life support's online.
I think you can see the commander's brow. Basically, ever since they left Astrape's bar, his brow has been kind of furrowed, as if he's reaching back into the mists of his memory, trying to figure out why the U.S.S. Mary Celeste is so vaguely familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to use my well-informed talent
Okay.
at the moment. So I'm going to give you a threat
Okay.
so that I can ask 2 questions about this particular situation with the Mary Celeste. So the commander's reaching back into his memory, where have I heard that name before? What is it about that ship? Surely I heard something about its disappearance or some information about its mission, yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's going to take a moment to pull up just a brief sort of summary record of the U.S.S. Mary Celeste on a nearby pad or display screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
That'll help to jog his memory. So the 2 questions I want to ask, right?
Okay.
1, what was the Mary Celeste's original mission, right? Well, what was its objective?
Mm-hmm.
And the second question is there a recording, an audio recording of the last acting captain of the Mary Celeste in Starfleet database?
Sure. So I'll give you kind of a combo answer for the first question, is that the original Mary Celeste, aka the one in real life, it is a famous ghost ship. It is
Right.
one that was discovered under partial sail, and its lifeboat was missing. There was no sign of what happened to the crew. The only hint was that there was an entry in the log of 10 days prior to its discovery adrift, and its cargo was intact. The personal belongings of the crew was undisturbed, and really, it had no indication of where the crew went or what happened to them. As far as the Mary Celeste in universe, in the Star Trek universe, the Mary Celeste was one of those standard 5-year missions that were sent out on Connie's, and its last log from the captain actually recorded here on Starbase Osiris. And the log goes something like this. Captain's log supplemental. We are about to proceed into the depths of the unknown. My crew is, of course, excited for the opportunity to explore and go where no one has gone before. However, I am a little bit, I guess the expression would be trepidatious about our prospects, what we will find out there. My family has always dealt with the unknown because we are a family of sailors, but space is a different beast altogether. And when it comes to space, sometimes the unknown is something that is, well, deadly, to put it in a very succinct way. Of course, I believe in the crew that I've been given. I believe in my senior officers. I believe in myself. But I do want it noted for the log that should we never come back, or should we share the same fate of our vessel's name with the original ghost ship, let it be known that I will do everything in my power to get my people home and provide a way to solve a mystery should one occur. End log.
Now, did that log include, or does the record, the Federation record for the Mary Celeste, include the captain's name?
It does, and I will type it out in chat because I probably am going to say it wrong, but I believe it is called Parsborough.
Parsborough. Okay, got it. Given that, the commander will start to his brow will finally unfurrow as the memories have come back to him, and he will start massaging just above the sort of the bone collar hidden underneath his tall collar. He will start massaging his neck and saying to himself, kind of relatively under his breath, Captain Parsborough, in a completely different voice, right? Trying to mimic the captain's voice. Captain Parsborough, Captain Parsborough.
Okay. And I believe this is you hinting that you're eventually going to try and imitate his voice.
Oh, no, this is a complete non sequitur.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, you've taken scans of the ship. It's just chilling there. What do you want to do with it?
Right. Well, Evans, if your readings are correct, it seems that this ship, despite its age, is still in excellent enough condition to take boarders. I say we gather an away team, make our way over to the vessel, and determine exactly what went wrong and what happened to its crew.
Ensign Evans, you slowly see his eyes slowly widening in excitement as you continue your sentence, until eventually he goes, "We're boarding the Connie? I'm gonna be on board on original Constitution before refit."
That's essentially what I just said, yes.
I'll go get ready immediately, sir. And
Yes. Far be it from me to stand in the way of your enthusiasm, Ensign.
he's gonna go. He goes to run to leave, to get ready to grab a tricorder and stuff like that. Stops, turns around, grabs his food again, then leaves.
I was about to make you do a roll to see if you remembered your cheeseburger.
Well, Talix, at least we know the ensign's priorities. Eager to join an away team, eager to make sure that his burger is recovered, but not to ask for dismissal from command.
Indeed. It's exciting to see such youthful vigor in a place so desolate and far away, isn't it?
The commander will turn to a lower ranking officer and say, please remind me that later I am to revoke Ensign Evans's food and drink privileges aboard the command center.
Damn!
And I think you're talking to Obidus. Obidus is your traffic controller, and he just sort of nods and says, yes, sir, I'll make a note in the log.
We do observe protocol here, even when there's a ghost ship nearby.
Speaking of which, sir, we do have a few ships coming in the next 12 hours. Should I have them holding pattern, or should I let them dock normally?
The commander will take a moment to sort of review his kind of mental map of Osiris Station. Is there another dock that is sort of not perpendicular, but sort of opposite the one that the Mary Celeste is currently at?
Oh yeah, yeah. So the Mary Celeste is station keeping. It's not docked, but it is station
Ah,
keeping.
okay, okay.
Maybe about 2 or 3 kilometers off the station. So relatively in space, it's very close. But if you want to just provide like the physical bulk of the station as protection for the incoming vessels, you've got about 3 or 4 docks you can use for that purpose.
Yes, I think the commander will say, yes, Obitus, have the remaining vessels, process them normally, but have them dock at the location on the opposite side of the station, just in case.
Very good, sir. I'll begin making those arrangements.
Very good.
And then, Commander, I will also go ahead and get ready. I think that if you would allow me to join, this would be an excellent opportunity to learn a little bit more about what may have happened, but not just to the crew, but across the mission since they left Osiris Station.
Well, Lieutenant, given your usefulness on Xerxes 4, I was, of course, going to request your accompaniment.
Oh, well, I certainly appreciate your assessment of my capabilities as useful. I would be more than happy to join, so I will proceed and get ready.
And the commander will stand there expectantly, watching you get up and start to leave.
Sir,
Are you forgetting something, Lieutenant?
is it by chance my rainbow steak?
Are you forgetting a second thing, Lieutenant?
I think Ovidus like motions at like Vokobe Ka like behind him and goes motions and then, tries to mime that you need to ask to leave kind of a thing, but it's Ovidus and he's not exactly humanoid, so it looks just kind of like flailing arms and tentacles.
Permission to depart, Commander.
Permission granted, Lieutenant. Thank you for following protocol.
It's a good thing that you can understand the arm squiggling.
All right. So let's talk about the away mission real quick. Obviously, the three of you are going, because why would you not? What is it you're bringing equipment-wise? Like, you obviously get a tricorder. You obviously get a Type 1 or Type 2 phaser. Those are standard issue. Evans does get an engineering tricorder and toolkit. Talix, you would get the... Let me see, because you're technically the science officer. You know what? I'll give you a medical tricorder just because you have enough focuses to have a medical tricorder. So we have on the table engineering toolkit, engineering tricorder, medical kit. Is there anything else you want to take with you?
A photon torpedo. No, I'm just kidding. No.
On like a dolly that we just wheel in there? Is that what you're getting?
No, just like beam it over, just carry it around, put your back
well, sure.
into it.
You want to do it the easy way, yeah.
No, I'm all good on my end.
Did we get the sense that like there's still like life support and breathable oxygen and everything on board?
Yeah, life support is operational.
Okay, good. Okay, I was about to say the only thing that I can think of would be environmental suits, but that's not a problem then.
Conceivably.
Maybe a pad loaded up with both the information on the historical Mary Celeste and the Federation records on the U.S.S. Mary Celeste.
Okay, I'll make a note.
Maybe those wrist-mounted flashlights.
Those come standard. Yeah. Okay.
So I don't think we use the like flash beacon style of flashlight anymore.
Well,
I mean, given the station, that may be all that's left.
This is true. Maybe you are using the TOS style flashlight rather than the TNG and Voyager flashlight. All right.
They have those weird like cube flashlights in the early TNG.
Yeah.
Palm beacon, that's what it's called.
Suffice to say, there's some interesting equipment that you have found on the station. But yeah, with that, we will do the beam over sequence. What I'm going to say is that no roll is required to get you there. But since chat redeemed a complication earlier, what I'm going to say is you beam safely into the Mary Celeste. I'm going to say you beam onto the bridge of the Mary Celeste. And you take a look around, and it's literally almost like a museum ship where the consoles are working, the view screen is showing Osiris Station, the computers are operational. Everything looks like a working ship should be, despite the 100 to 150 years out of date kind of thing. However, the complication is when you try to get back to the station, when you try to tap your communicator and confirm your safe arrival, you are unable to raise the station. Now, you can still reach each other on comm badges, but you cannot get a communique off the Mary Celeste.
Evans to Osiris. Evans to Osiris, respond. I think our communications are, I don't know, being jammed? There might be some kind of interference.
Perhaps whatever is keeping this vessel together and operational is causing some kind of interference. The more we know, the faster we'll be able to solve that problem.
Right.
Now,
Wow.
let me also point out, by the way, I think we also got a good one, too. We got a good Q power somewhere up there.
You did. You have the momentum from it.
Oh, is it just momentum? Okay.
Yeah, just adds. So evil is adding a threat.
Complication.
Good is momentum.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
cool.
threat,
Right.
whenever a chat redeems a complication, I either take 2 threat or I immediately create a complication.
I see. Okay, that's what I was confused about. All right. Well,
Damn
fine.
you, Q. Evans kind of looks around the bridge, and it's like stepping back into history.
Speaking of which, help me envision this in my mind.
Mhm.
Is this like proper TOS Connie, or is this like revisionist history, Strange New Worlds Connie?
Oh, no. This is original series. No revisionist
alright.
history.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Analog controls. No touchscreens, not one in sight.
An elegant weapon for a more civilized age.
Kind of slowly turns to you, Commander. Did you just... You know what? Never mind.
You'll never know, Ensign. You'll never know.
You frightened me, Commander, but it also intrigued me. Anyway, with your permission, Commander, I would like to start investigating the ship's computer.
Very well, Ensign. Have at it.
Thank you, sir. And I'm gonna make my way over to one of the consoles and get to work kind of just searching the ship's computer for its logs, its look at more in detail, look at its, operations, see how it's kind of faring, that kind of thing. Any kind of relevant information, and I'll leave the floor to the other two while I do that.
Okay, we'll get to you in a moment then.
Commander, I would actually like to do something very similar. I've always wanted to look through one of those science viewports they used to have on these older ships. Do you by chance mind if I go investigate the science station on the bridge?
By all means, Lieutenant. But I must caution the both of you. As interesting and as curiosity-provoking as the ship is, we also must not let our guards fall. We must remind ourselves that the existence of this ship and its appearance at Osiris Station is an anomaly and possibly a dangerous one.
Well, with you saying that, Commander, I do wonder, since we're not able to communicate back with Osiris Station, are we concerned at all that our initial scans of no life signs aboard might also be inaccurate? Could it be that whatever interference is affecting us on this side may have also been affecting us on that side?
Lieutenant, I am willing to bet latinum on it.
I'm wondering then, either if we try to use our medical tricorder or if we want to try to use the ship's internal sensors to do a sweep, that might be the best. Perhaps a, larger opportunity for us to find if there's anything here.
The commander will nod at Lieutenant Talex, and then he will, with a little bit of relish, sit in the captain's chair of this old Connie, right? He will take a moment to kind of like, appreciatively kind of rub one of the arm supports, right? And then he will again sort of massage and kind of clear his throat, and hopefully, in a pitch perfect recreation of Captain Parsborough voice, will ask, "Computer, please scan for life signs aboard the ship."
And because I find it funny, there is no response from the computer because you've forgotten one very crucial step.
I have to kill a Romulan first?
No, you literally have to push the button on your armrest.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I got to push the old clanker button. That's right. So the commander will kind of look up, his brow will furrow again, and then, in a facial expression that reads, "I should smack myself silly," he then looks back at the armrest, chunks the button down, and then says, "Computer, Captain Parsborough here. Please scan for life signs aboard the Mary Celeste."
And you, of course, get that very nasally, like, working. And why don't you, Vakobe Ka, why don't you give me a presence and command here? I'm just trying to remember if vocal gymnastics gives you... So you will be able to re-roll if you need to because of vocal gymnastics. But give me a presence command, difficulty of 1, and I will roll for the Mary Celeste because I'm kind of keeping its stats secret. The Mary Celeste has provided you 1 success, and the overall difficulty is a 2 here. So I just need to see at least 1 more.
Okay. I don't think there's any need to modify this roll. Let's just see what happens.
Okay, well, that is a grand total of 3 successes, meaning you get a momentum back. And I'm not going to do the nasally computer voice for everything because I would just
you have
to.
You can.
Mostly because I
That's
have
very
to I have to pinch my nose and it just feels weird.
Wacky.
Do you have a recording of the robot from Logan's Run? You could just get him to do it.
Oh my god.
Fish and plankton and sea greens and protein from the sea.
One of these days I'll have more confidence in my voice acting, but today is not that day. But the computer does return that there are 4 life signs on the ship currently.
4. Okay.
4. Mm-hmm.
Computer, please identify each of the 4 life signs aboard the Mary Celeste.
The computer replies, there is a human, there is a denobulan, and there are 2 unknowns.
You just see Evan slowly look over from his console. I'm sorry, what?
I take it that the Mary Celeste's computer systems do not recognize me, Evan Shari, as the Federation had not encountered them at this point of their initial voyage. But that is sounding like myself, you, Ensign, and the Lieutenant here, which means we have 1 person aboard who may be able to tell us what exactly is going on here.
Unsettling.
And because I find it funny, I'm spending 2 threat that one of the parts of the ceiling drops and makes a very loud noise and clangs everywhere.
The commander
Evans
will start in his chair for a
jumps.
minute.
Ah, stop. Okay, so structural integrity field might not be quite what I thought it was.
The commander will lightly glare at the ensign. That much is clear, Evans.
I'm getting a lot of conflicting information here.
Nothing is as it seems. Let us hope that the floor doesn't come apart instead.
Well, it's funny you say that, because before you were looking at the carpet and it was kind of the standard TOS grays and reds. Well, now that red's a little bit more crimson than anything else. Almost like a blood red, if you will.
I see. Evans looks down. Wow. Did anyone notice that the carpet is a little brighter?
Perhaps we should wrap up our business here on the bridge and make our way to a less supernaturally bloody room.
Aye, sir. Before that, though, ELH, is there anything that I can garner from the computer
Well,
during the
depends
time that I
what
was
you're
on it?
trying to pull.
So, engineering logs, report logs, just mostly things reporting regarding just kind of the operational history of the ship leading up to around the time of its disappearance.
Okay. I think that's probably going to be a control and engineering. I am, however, going to tell you that this is a difficulty of 4.
Difficulty 4.
Now, you do have computers as a focus here, and you do have bold engineering, so you potentially could set yourself up for success here, but it is still a difficulty of 4.
Okay, well. Let me check something real quick. I'm going to buy a d20 for my bold engineering.
Okay, so I'll get a point of threat.
And let's go for it.
Okay. All right, well, you can re-roll that 18 to crit fish. And you will need to get a crit here to succeed. Okay. So that's a grand total of 3 successes, which means I can offer you a success with a complication.
Very well.
All right. So very similar to the, historical Mary Celeste, everything looks fine up to about, and I'm doing math in my head here because stardates are bullshit, but basically about 3.5 years into its 5-year mission out in the boonies. The captain just makes an entry in the log, and Parsbro says something along the lines of, Captain's daily log supplemental, nothing really to report. We're just transiting between Star A and Star B, and there's nothing really to do. The crew's getting a little restless, so I've ordered some more R&R time for everybody all around the clock, kind of a thing. That is the very last log you get from anyone on the ship. And then the complication is going to be that as you're looking at the logs up to that point, you see that they are polymorphic in design, where one moment you're looking at a log that says, oh, we discovered this so-and-so material on this world and we were studying it in Science Lab 2. Well, you look at that log once, and then you kind of look away and you look back at that log, and that log says something completely different. Where now instead of it being material A in Science Lab 2, it's now anomaly C in astrometrics Y. If that makes any sense, where the logs are literally changing before your very eyes. The only constant, though, is that Parsboro log, where, more R&R time, crew is a little restless, we're transiting, etc., etc.
This doesn't make any sense.
Now, to further amplify what's going on, Talix, I believe you were looking into the Spock viewer. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, I need you to roll me a fitness and medicine at a difficulty of 2. Oh, but real quick, because this could matter, Evans, you have untapped potential, so I need you to roll me 1d20, and if you get below a 10, you get momentum.
All right, let's do it. Just rolling a single d20. Is there just a place where I can just roll a d20 without it being like a task?
Just you go into Foundry chat there and do /roll space 1d20.
Right.
Okay, you get a point of momentum.
Hey, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a focus for this one, right?
No, you actually don't have a
Ooh.
focus for this one.
Okay, sounds good.
But you succeed all the same. So, Talix, you go to look in the Spock viewer, as I'm going to keep calling it, and you expect to see the science readouts of the neighboring space, the computer interface that Spock usually went through, but instead of that, what you are treated to is a barrage of flashing lights and colors that, were it anybody else, were it a human, were it a Vinchari, were it any other species, you would have immediately gone into a seizure because it's one of those seizure causing lights kind of a thing. But you're a Denobulan, and Denobulans are built a little bit differently. So you maybe get a brief headache and enough presence of mind to stop looking in the viewer, but you definitely would not recommend anyone else looking in there.
And for the second time in the last couple of minutes, Talix's defense mechanism goes off, where his face puffs out like a pufferfish in reaction to those lights. And so we hear a Commander, Ensign, I strongly recommend that neither of you take a peek inside that viewer. It is highly, and he sort of trails off without fully knowing what to say, but ends with saying, I just don't recommend it. There are one too many flashing lights for any other species.
Let me take a guess and say that you're receiving a bunch of conflicting data information that's rapidly switching.
That would be a great way to put it, Ensign. It was quite rapid. It was very impactful upon my eyesight, and it's not something that I would want to experience again.
Well, that's interesting because I'm getting the same thing over here, Commander. These logs are changing constantly.
There was something wrong with the computer system.
Sure, maybe, but I would only accept that explanation if it were on a more advanced computer system. The computers of this era were smart, but not smart enough to make up and change information to the level that I'm seeing. Important bits of information like material, locations, things like that are all altering all at once. The only thing that's remaining consistent is that one log we found from the captain.
That is peculiar as to why Captain Parsborough's log is the only static piece of information we've encountered here. That leads me to believe two possibilities. One, this computer system has been modified with technology that was not originally available in Connies of this era. Or someone is actively manipulating that information, perhaps that other life sign.
I wouldn't know for sure unless I got a look at the computer core. But maybe we could ask the computer where the life sign is, and it'd be nice to know where to avoid at the very least if we need to.
He will, the commander will sit back down, having kind of got up slightly to anticipate going to Lieutenant Talix in case something was, seriously wrong. Mm-hmm. He'll sit back down in the chair, he'll press the button, and he'll say, computer, Locate life sign not present on the bridge.
All life forms are present on the bridge.
You see Ensign Evans visibly run cold. I think we should leave the bridge, sir.
I'm starting to agree with your assessment, Ensign. One more question. Computer, identify species of life sign aboard bridge apart from denobulan, human, and unknown in captain's chair.
Species matches none on record.
Okay, well, that's great. So there's something in the room with us and we can't see it. Now, this is either a sensor glitch or something is seriously off here.
I think perhaps I need to get to... my history escapes me. They don't have... What preceded replicators? What's the technology?
I know what you're talking about.
Food synthesizers.
Food synthesizers.
Synthesizers, that's it. I need to get to one, and I need to put together some helpful salt. Perhaps
Salt, sir?
A lo-fi solution to this problem might reveal the shape and the tracks of a being on the bridge with us. Or perhaps
in the meantime, I might be able to... I'm going to open up my tricorder, and I'm going to try and connect it with the workstation, and I'm going to try and see if I can get the tricorder to kind of give me live updates on the location of the unknown life form on the bridge.
Well, unfortunately, I have bad news for you.
Oh boy.
The moment you try to connect your tricorder, I spend 2 thread to make this a complication. Your engineering tricorder is instantly burned out when you connect it to the ship's computer.
What the piece of junk!
But on the bright side, chat just did give you a momentum, so you got that going for you.
Kind of see Ensign Evans kind of smack his tricorder a few times and... Okay, well, another bit of advice, do not connect anything to the computer.
Commander, you just mentioned us pursuing a low-tech option. I'm wondering if we could just try talking to the being in the room to see if it could find a way to communicate with us.
Lieutenant,
this is assuming it's not hostile.
Well, Lieutenant, that does veer dangerously close to spiritualism, but I'm willing to give it a go.
Oh, great. So, what, do we all hold hands and do a seance or something?
The commander just gives Ensign Evans just a brief withering glance at that. Attention, foreign being aboard the bridge of the Mary Celeste. I am Commander Vakobe Ka. With me is my team, Ensign Kiata Evans and Lieutenant Junior Grade Talix. We ask that you identify yourself, give your name, your species, your place of origin, and your intent aboard this vessel.
All right. Vakobe Ka, extremely important role here. Extremely important. Normally, this would be a difficulty of 5. However, based on the actions that everybody has taken up to this point, I unfortunately have to bump the difficulty to a 6. Now,
we made it angry.
The good news is that you have a focus and damage control. So you've got that going for you. But you've got 5 momentum. I have 4 threat. You have your determination. I need to see 6 successes here.
Wow.
Actually, no. Hold on. You have rousing speaker. So that
I
would
was going
lower
to
the
ask if that
difficulty.
qualified here.
Yeah, so that would actually lower the difficulty back down to a 5. And
Okay, so
chat
I don't
just
have
gave
to
me
break the
a
game.
threat, so I think I'm going to immediately
Chat,
spend the
why?
threat and say that your complication range is 18 to 20.
That just reinforces my long-held belief that chat is not our friend.
Listen, this is why, you lurk in my chat, and then when you find somebody that's in a game that you don't like, you just redeem an evil complication. It all balances out.
Karmically, I don't know, but okay. I'm going to attempt it. I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and spend my determination, right, to make one of those die already a crit.
Okay.
I think my value, good leaders get their hands dirty, is like almost in effect, but what I'll do is while I am requesting this information from the being, right, aboard the bridge, I will like make a clear gesture, like to like take my phaser off, right, of the holster of the setting, right, and like set it aboard one of the armrests of the command chair, right, and like visibly, clearly step away from it as a kind of a de-escalation gesture.
Okay, I like it.
Okay, so I start with 2 die. One of those is already at a 2. I don't know if I want to spend all of the momentum we have for this. I was thinking about
They did say very, very important role.
That is true. Yes. Okay, fine. I'm spending all of the momentum. Wait, hold on.
So for
One
3
for
dice,
another-
for 5 dice total, it would be all 5 momentum and 1 threat.
Make it so.
All right.
Could I don't know if this is how this works, assist with a value?
Well, you would have to tell me how you're assisting first.
I believe I'm also going to follow Commander Vakobeka's example, removing my phaser, setting it on the console, and stepping away. And I'm also going to speak. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Starfleet, but we are a peaceful organization which seeks strange new worlds and new life forms, such as yourself. And we'd be very pleased to meet you peacefully. And this is what the value. Negotiation is always possible.
Okay. So what I would say is that as a reminder that whenever you do a roll, you get 1 assist for free. So Vakobeka, if you want Evans to assist you as that 1 free assist, Evans, you can immediately provide your determination. And again, make sure that you note that you've used that value. But you could essentially provide 2 free successes on your assist. So if that changes the meta currency spend any, just let me know.
Yeah, I should think so, right? Because if I'm using my determination and so is Evans, then that's already 4 successes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think I'll just, instead of having 5 total dice for myself, I'll just have the 2 more.
Okay, so that would be 3 momentum.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's reasonable, right? I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have 5 dice in my pool. I have using focus checked for damage control. I have the check using determination/value.
Oh, it would be 4 dice. 4 dice is the one you want.
Oh, that's right. There's a different setup for that. Okay, yes.
And then make sure your complication range is 18 to 20.
Yes, 18 to 20. That's right. Okay. Here we go. I'm attempting to contact the beyond.
Okay, well, you can re-roll one of those 18s, I believe.
Yes, because of, well,
actually, hold
can
on. Let me look.
I don't think I can.
No, you can't. That's the problem.
Wait, was the task presence and command?
It was presence command.
Okay. Oh, geez.
Like, even if you were doing vocal gymnastics, I would say that, but because you specifically presented yourself as Vakobeka and not
I did speak in that
Parsborough,
voice. Yeah.
Yeah, so you are going to succeed here. So that is still 5 total successes. So you still succeed here. But there's 2 complications. So I'm just trying to navigate in my head where I want this to go. Okay, I think I got it. So you make your speech for Koei Ka. Evans, you follow suit with your own little diatribe. Talix, what are you doing as they are trying to contact the Beyond? Are you also putting your phaser away? Are you also, kind of de-escalating? What is it that Talix is doing before I say what happens here?
Yep. So Talix is following suit with making sure that the phaser is away, and he's giving a big Denobulan smile, almost as a warm welcome. And I don't know if there's anything else I could do to help the situation here, since we've already done the roll. But yeah, I'm doing everything I can to make a new unknown life form feel welcome.
Okay. So there is suddenly a burst of wind on the bridge, and I'd like you to imagine like a really strong thunderstorm, or like a hurricane if you've ever been one of those in real life, where it's just a very strong constant gust of wind. And if this was truly a 60s era show, there'd be papers flying everywhere just to sort of show there's wind and the whole 9 yards.
Just loose documents.
Loose documents. But as this wind grows more violent and more forceful, and you maybe start to wondering if you've done something wrong, a kaleidoscopic light appears in the space above the captain's chair, where Vakobe Ka once was. And this ball of light is maybe about the size of a tennis ball. So it's a pretty small little ball of light here. But the first complication is going to be that everybody, I need you to take either 3 stress or consider yourself knocked out. So you have a choice here. You can stay up and just take 3 stress, or if you want to make things super interesting, you just decide that, hey, my character's checking out for a moment.
I'll take the 3 stress because I want to see where this is going.
Okay.
I think given Talix's previous issue looking into the Spock viewer, that he is going to be knocked out.
Okay, Talix.
Good night, Doc.
What about you, Vakobe Ka? What about you?
All right, I was just distracted by thinking about the Spock viewer, like one of those like Viewmaster things where it's just pictures of Spock in various poses. Oh, here he is enjoying a beverage. Chick, chick. Oh, here he is dancing clog. Chick, chick. You know what? I was actually going to be knocked out before Talix suggested it. But I don't want to leave Evans by himself. It's not his, professional development episode yet. It's too early in the season, right? It can't happen now. But I will take the 3 stress, I think. I'll stay up.
Okay. So, as that ball of light manifests, Talix, you kind of crumple to the ground. And of course, you all see and hear Talix go down. Good news, Talix doesn't hit his head on the way down, so you've got that going for you. But that's just complication number 1. The ball of light begins, for lack of a better term, screeching. It begins making sort of this ghostly wail that your universal translators don't really pick up. But as you're like maybe starting to, put hands over your ears as the wind is getting more rough, Talix stands back up. And Talix's eyes open up to show same sort of beacons of kaleidoscopic light. And Talix, in Talix's voice, says, "Why have you come here? You do not belong here."
Evans kind of is there still screeching?
There is still screeching, but it is lowered now that Talix is speaking, so it's kind of like a low level screech.
Okay. Kind of slowly take my hands off my ears. Well, this vessel belongs to our organization. It returned to the station that we serve on. We were curious what happened to it.
And this is complication number 2. Evans. That ball of light that, you were, keeping your ears closed for, little beam of light is going to lance out and strike you in the chest. And I need you to take either 3 stress damage or choose to go down.
Let's see here. I think I'm out for the count.
Okay. So Vakobe Ka, you are now looking at 2 of your officers being puppeted by this entity, this life form, whatever it is. And I'm not going to do the effect because, I don't know how to set it up impromptu, but anytime this creature speaks to you, Vakobe Ka, it's kind of like coming from Evans one moment and then it switches to Talix the next. And there's no rhyme or reason to who's really speaking when, if you follow what I'm saying.
Yes, yes, I do. Okay, I think the commander will kind of steel himself, seeing that both of his officers are now being puppeted, and he will ask, "What is your intent aboard this vessel?"
Our intent is to follow our agreement with Captain Parsborough.
Where is the good captain?
The captain and all of his crew are currently in the transporter buffer.
By choice?
By necessity.
Please state the nature of your emergency.
And I'd like to just paint the image that possessed Evans and possessed Talix kind of look at each other. Again, eyes and mouth, just these beacons of light. And then they respond, Parsborough and his crew passed through our space. We were incompatible with one another. Their crew was in danger. Parsborough suggested transporter buffer as a way to maintain crew cohesiveness. In return, we would see his vessel back to its point of origin.
Do you have a name or a designation? As I do, I am Commander Vakobe Ka. What is your designation?
We are the Sure, and it's actually with the X, so it's the Chinese pronunciation of the X. So it's pronounced sure, like, sure, yeah, that's what I meant, kind of a thing.
Right. Are you a hive mind, a singular entity? What is your number?
We are the Sure.
I honor you, Sure. According to what you have said, you have honored the agreement with Captain Parsborough and his crew. They are our compatriots. We are of the same body, so to speak. We stand for the same values. And the kindness you have shown them in a moment of great danger and emergency should be repaid. You have done your duty, returned this vessel to its point of origin. Now we ask, how may we reward you for your service?
Vakoe Ka, another very important role. Still, Presence Command. I'd say the overall difficulty after accounting for Rousing Speaker is a difficulty of 3. You have 2 momentum. I have 4 threat. I mean, I believe.
Well, that's one of us. Can damage control still account here? Or
I'll give it to you. Sure, why not? Because you are
Okay.
kind of literally doing damage control with two of your officers being possessed.
Yeah, I'd rather not. I'd rather them not die this early in the season.
Hmm.
Am
What
I
do you think?
aware of my actions?
We'll get to that once you're not possessed anymore.
Okay.
All right, I'll spend 1 momentum to give myself an extra die in the pool.
Okay.
Out of determination. Already using rousing speaker. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay,
All right.
here we go.
Let's see what happens. I can offer you a success with a complication.
Well, I feel like we haven't had enough complications today, so why not? Let's throw another one in.
So, the Sure reply, we would require a vessel to transport ourselves back to our area of space.
This can be arranged, sure. We have vessels that we are willing to provide you that is compatible with your form and your means of navigation. But
Sure, that could be arranged.
we would require that Captain Parsborough and his crew be transferred out of the transport buffer aboard this vessel and given over to us in safekeeping so that we may restore them.
And there's a pause. Evans and Talix look at one another. Then Talix and Evans sort of crumple to the ground. Two new balls of light raise up from their bodies. These two new balls of light rejoin the larger one that is above the captain's chair. And the entity says, "You have 1 hour." And then the ball of light vanishes. Evans, Talix, you come back to your senses. You have no idea what happened. One moment you were doing your thing. Next, you're just sort of on the floor for some reason.
Oh. Oh. I feel like a shuttle pod landed on my head.
You all right, Ensign?
Thanks, sir, but I feel pretty roughed up. What happened? Did I black out?
You were temporarily disabled. The Sure, as they call themselves, entered into a dialogue with me, and they required... Perhaps that's a strong word. They used your form and that of the lieutenant here to make their desires known.
Are you saying that I just... Oh, what they did to Talix. Wait, Talix! I'm gonna kind of quickly crawl over to where Talix is to check on him.
And Ensign,
You-
what happened?
Remind me to show you The Exorcist sometime. It'll make sense. You okay, Doc?
Yes, I'm okay. I'm coming back to Commander. Anything I can do, and Talek sort of seems to be going in and out of it a little bit. Again, he's taken a lot given what happened to him previously, but he's by and large okay, but is sort of, fading in and out of speech, but he's generally okay
Rapid
otherwise.
onset denobulant hypersleep. Anyway, Evan's kind of... Okay, Doc. Well, let's get you back to the station soon. Get you checked out.
And actually, as you say that, Zenlith actually calls the commander and says, "This is Zenlith to the commander. Commander, are you all right over there?"
The Commander Vakobeka receiving. Yes, we seem to be in one piece.
We were worried, sir. I mean, when you beamed over, we weren't able to get in contact with you for about 40 minutes. We were worried something had happened to you.
Well, something did happen to all of us, but we managed to come out relatively unscathed. The problem is we have a little less than an hour now to transfer Captain Parsborough and his entire crew from the transportation buffer aboard the U.S.S. Mary Celeste.
And you can see that there's definitely, or hear that there's definitely hesitation in Zenlith's voice. Says, "Sir, Connie has 400 crew, and you want to beam all of them out of a transporter? But hold on." And there's a pause as Zenlith shouts something off screen. "Well, sir, if we can get Evans back over here to monitor the buffers of Osiris Station, we could use every single cargo transporter and personnel transporter to do that in, I don't know, 5 minutes?"
I'm gonna tap my comm badge to join in the conversation. Yes, that could theoretically work. Just, we need to make sure the Heisenberg compensators are still operating at maximum efficiency, and see if you can get some pattern enhancers over here.
All right, we can do that.
Ensign, if you would please attend to this very pressing matter. I'll take care of the lieutenant here.
Okay, sounds good. He stands up. It was sure, you said?
Sure, I'm sure.
Yes. Thank you for your time. Sure. Perhaps in the future we can discuss dinner before possession. Ensign Evans to Osiris Station, 1 to beam up. Energize.
All right. So as you beam away, we are left with Vakobeka and Talix still recuperating on the bridge of the Mary Celeste.
The commander will go over to Talix and kind of like, not waiting for any kind of like, movement or anything, just basically like take an arm and like lay it across his shoulder in that supportive sort of position, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you well enough, Lieutenant, to leave this cursed place of your own accord?
Yes, Commander. I believe that I can get up, and I think I can proceed. And so Talix tries to stand up, and he stumbles a little bit on his way up, but with the commander's support, is finally able to make his way to his feet, and so he is back upright.
Lieutenant, if I may ask, what did you experience while you were inhabited by the shore? Were you aware of what was happening to you? Did you have any say in the matter?
Commander, I can't say that I recall much of anything really. For a moment, I know that I was standing there smiling, ready to welcome this new being that we didn't yet know. And the next thing I knew is I was on the ground, just coming back to you all.
Well, Lieutenant, this is what happens when you seek out new worlds, strange life forms. Sometimes they get perhaps a little closer than comfort. But you seem to be made of sterner stuff than your average scientist. Glad to have you aboard and still walking around.
Indeed, sir. And it seems that this new life form wasn't so bad. Perhaps there's more that we could learn from them. Maybe not today, but perhaps at another time.
Perhaps, Lieutenant, but for now, let's give our goodbyes and make our way back to shore, as it were.
Is there anything that you need that I could do to help ensure that the ship's crew is safely transported and supported?
You may need to examine Captain Parsborough and the crew after they are transferred over to Osiris, just to make sure that their encounter with the shore did not alter them in any biological or physiological sense.
Yes, sir. Then I think it would be best if I head back to the station and I can prepare, and perhaps Chief Yen can join me when I get back there, and we can see if there's anything that we can pick up based on this new life form.
Very well, Lieutenant. I will leave you to your duties.
And sir, permission to disembark this shall we say place.
The commander will slightly grin and say, I knew you were one for protocol, Lieutenant. Thank you for observing it even aboard this hell of a vessel.
Indeed,
Permission
sir.
granted.
Thank you. And so Talix hits his comm badge and one to beam back to Osiris Station.
All right. You beam away, leaving Vokobe Ka to their own devices on the bridge of the Mary Celeste.
Vakobeka takes control of the vessel, leaves immediately at high warp.
I mean, if you want to, I'm not going to stop you.
No. I think it will take some time to sort of like just walk the bridge for a minute and just he didn't want to necessarily the other two, the lieutenant and the ensign, were clearly excited about being aboard Akani, but the commander was a little like flat or nonplussed about it. But now that they're both gone, he will take a moment to sort of like, smile to himself and kind of run his hands over the, this pristine, conditioned, relic of early Federation history, and take a moment to just kind of stand and stare out of the view screen and say, well, they don't make them like they used to. And perhaps that's for the better now. He'll hit his comm badge and he will say, Commander Vakobeka to beam back to Osiris Station.
All right. And you beam away. Now we have two very important questions that need answering. And this is to the group. So question number 1. Are you going to give the Sure the Mary Celeste to get back where they're going? Or are you going to provide them a different vessel for the Sure to return home?
As much as I believe that vessel belongs in a museum, we have to assume that anything smaller would probably not support them as well, and anything larger is too expensive to send them away in. That's just my 10 cents.
Mm. I was operating under the assumption that we would give them something in like a dry dock that wasn't the Mary Celeste, because we would need, because technically that's Starfleet property, and it's probably more valuable back at like Utopia Planitia or something than it is, just drifting out and nowhere.
It has immeasurable scientific data that could be salvaged.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what we have available.
Yeah, that's the next question, right?
Well, you do have the runabout you came to the station on.
The special magic runabout? Oh no, you're talking about the regular runabout.
The regular runabout, yeah.
I'm not going to give them the magic ship.
I'm assuming that given our requisition priority out here, these runabouts are definitely short supply.
Oh yeah.
Well, do we have anything in dry dock that isn't Starfleet but also isn't currently being operated?
That isn't Starfleet, yes. That isn't currently being operated, no. You do have like a few Vulcan ships that are currently undergoing repairs, but they're not something that you could like Shanghai and be like, hey, we need this ship, kind of a thing.
Did we
No,
know?
but
Did
I
we know
could
the?
negotiate.
Did we know the crew complement? Like, what's the like species distribution of the crew of the Mary Celeste? Because they said they weren't compatible with Parsbro and his crew, but if they were mostly human, maybe they might be compatible with the Vulcans or some other species.
You know what? That is an interesting situation. Let me think about that for a moment.
Because if that's the case, they could just tag along with one of the many vessels that pass through Osiris.
Right.
It's true.
You know, that is a very interesting viewpoint, and I like it. I guess the question is, I'm looking at my notes here. So here's what I'll say. And we need to make a note of this for the future, so if you're taking notes, and maybe I'll make a special note in my own notes, that basically the next time there is either a Vulcan or Denobulan crew that is headed out into the boonies, sure, we'll tag along with them.
Huh. Sick.
Okay, so we'll let them temporarily inhabit the Mary Celeste while it is kind of, hovering around Osiris Station, and then when their ride comes by, we'll ask them to transfer and call it. Okay, I think that's a reasonable solution to this problem.
Yeah, it solves it very interestingly. The second question that needs answering, though, is what are you doing about Parsbro and his crew? Because at least when he manifests on Osiris Station, it's not like he immediately is presented with technology that is severely out of date, because again, Osiris Station was quite literally built around the same time as the Connies were. But what are you going to be doing with Parsbro and his crew? Because again, there's about 400 crew that you have to deal with here.
So I have kind of a plan.
Okay.
So I would like to, as operations chief, dispatch a new away team, this time made up of engineers, to go to the Mary Celeste to its transporter rooms and to set up pattern enhancers. I want them to verify that the Heisenberg compensators and all the other pieces in those transporters are still functioning before we do anything.
Okay.
After that, we're going to cross-connect their transporters with our transporters, create a transporter link, and we're going to beam them and rematerialize them on our transporter pads, as many at a time as we can, with the pattern enhancers assisting.
Yeah.
And they will be distributed to sickbay.
Okay.
What do you think, Commander?
That sounds perfectly reasonable to me. I think the question, though, is what do we do with them afterwards?
Do we have enough space on the station to house them comfortably for a period of time?
Oh, most definitely. Osiris Station is stupidly big.
I think the biggest problem we're going to have to deal with, and this either will come down to the doc's expertise or whoever is in charge of mental health around here, they need to adjust to a completely new time period.
Yeah, they got to acclimate. Yeah.
Culture shock and everything will be rampant.
We could rip a hole in the space-time continuum and send them back in time.
I mean, I'm just going to point this out. You have an original Connie. The original Connie did that on a daily basis. It's part of the reason why they refit it.
That would be a massive breach of the temporal prime directive.
But original Connie.
The what?
The temporal prime directive.
The what?
I've never heard of this.
I see you're one of those captains.
Oh no, you don't understand. This is the timeline where they erased the temporal prime directive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm pretty sure it still exists, just in a different. I might be wrong though. Hold on.
We're messing with
sick.
you.
You sound sick, Ensign Evans. I think you need to go to sickbay and get your head examined. No, I think we'll just what's probably ideal is we will give them access to. I'm sure Osiris Station has at least one sort of counselor or sort of like mental health expert somewhere, right?
Somewhere.
Multiple.
We'll have them, rotate through with that part of personnel over the course of like I don't know 3 months, maybe get them acclimated. Like, let them reach out to, any like descendants or figure out any sort of living situations, and then slowly get them transferred off of the station as as kindly and humanely as possible.
Okay. So then, based on the unique ways that you're solving these two questions, we now have a third question. What are you doing with the Mary Celeste once the Sure are gone? Are you keeping it here at the station? Are you sending it back to Utopia Planitia? What are you doing with the ship?
We definitely, because we got the Vulcan situation sorted out, I assume. Um, so, in my opinion, Commander, what I would suggest is probably sending her to Planitia, but I believe it would be appropriate that the crew of the Mary Celeste be the one to make that journey.
Okay. Yeah, that's reasonable, provided that they, adjust well to the acclimation process, and the counselor or the mental health professional can clear them for continued duty. I think that's reasonable.
This begs a very interesting question. Would they still technically maintain their service to Starfleet, or would they need to undergo some kind of training, I wonder?
Well, they'll need to be briefed and trained on LCARs, but conceivably they can keep operating if they want.
They're also, ideal for operating that vessel. It's theirs to begin with, right? I mean, it's their ship. The problem is, are the Sure? The Sure are going to transfer off of that ship, so that solves that problem.
Yep.
Yeah, I think in maybe 3 months' time, if they're cleared for duty, like physically and mentally, we'll have them make the trip back to Planitia. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Are we able? I'm just thinking about some of the data that's there. There could be some things that we might want to look into in that period of time. I'm even just thinking about things like star charts and what's in the boonies of our sort of space, right? That might be helpful for us down the road.
Oh, yeah.
So I imagine there's some things that I know, at least for Talix, that we probably would want to do before sending the ship off.
We should definitely make duplicates of their records, transfer that data if we can before they leave. Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic.
Yeah, one thing I'll say about that is when the Sure leave the Mary Celeste, the computer logs become constant and stay constant. So you are able to pull a copy of their 5-year mission, kind of a thing.
Now, that does beg the question of whether or not those logs and that data reverts to the original form, or it just stays as it was changed.
We'll leave it a small mystery. How about we say that?
I'm sure with interviews with the crew, we could probably piece something together, but that's not really our job.
Yeah, that's therapist number C. Number C.
That's
what I meant.
That's an anthropologist's job or a Starfleet historian's job.
Well, it's funny you say that, because as I'm looking at my notes, I made Chief Yin an astroarchaeologist, and I think this actually qualifies.
It does technically qualify, yeah.
So I think
Chief Yin, go off.
I think Chief Yin is just in the background, like interviewing these people and going through logs. She's having a grand old time.
Well, people have been clamoring for a Chief Yin spinoff series, so that does make sense.
Apparently. Literally. Okay, so I just want to be very clear on a few points here. So initially, when I offered the players hey, take this damage or you get knocked out, I was expecting like one person to go with it. I wasn't expecting 2 people to go with it. But I also was very much dependent on the player's decision there. So that could have been a very different conversation, because if Akobe Ka went down and left Evans up, or if Akobe Ka and Evans left and then Talix was the only one up, that would have completely changed where that story went. So I just want to recognize that fact.
That is really cool.
Yeah. But yeah,
I'm glad to pass out at any moment if you need me to.
No, and It's my philosophy of game mastering that the players need to one to make that decision. Unless I specifically call for a test, it's always the player's decision to do something like that. So I do want to say thank you, everybody, for playing along. That was very cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, Twitch, stick around because we're going to raid somebody. But YouTube, we'll see you later. Bye-bye, YouTube.